We're back with the best of Bleav Network Hour on Stadium. Do you believe?
We're back, baby. It's a charity stripe. Hit your free throws because they are free. Joshua Fisher, Alexander Desopoulos, Nikki Snacks, Kreider. Best of Bleav here on Stadium. Right now, we have a Packers podcast on my block coming your way with Mike Wahle and Ahman Green talking to Deshaun Watson. Check it out.
Everything they do is business centric and focused specifically on how can we squeeze the most amount of revenue out of the most amount of people. And what we always, when these things happen, we always fail to understand is like, well, are people going to be mad about Deshaun Watson? Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, but guess 100%. What? Those people are the bar that Roger Goodell has to set is very simply, how much will these people take before they stop watching? And I can almost guarantee
they're not going
in Cleveland outside. There's a couple groups that aren't going to watch the NFL that might not watch them anyways. Yeah, but this is not going to affect viewership in Cleveland. It's not going to affect viewership across the country because this guy, had the massage therapist issue. And that's what is, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but it's kind of like laughable with all the stuff. We go through this and through this and through this and through this. And it's like, none of these people really matter. The only thing that matters is, are you going to turn the TV on or not? And I know it's a very callous way to look at the world, but that's what it is, man.
I mean, they bring up a great point. The NFL is a business, and I love the mindset. I don't love the mindset, but I love the point that they are going to stretch it as long as they can go and ring it for everything they got until people start dropping off as viewers, which will never happen. Betting, fantasy football, there's too many other extracurricular activities that go on just outside the game, which already draws in millions, at this point, billion viewers, it still owns a day of the week. The NBA could be as sexy as it multiple days a week. Yeah, Thursday, Monday. The NBA could be as sexy as it wants and have the appeal of the superstar. Baseball's had an unbelievable year. NFL is and always will be king in the United States.
Every time something happens, whether it's suspensions, whether it's moving games around, whether it's COVID protocol, whatever it may be, if it's controversial, do you think that they're having the discussion every single time, how many viewers are we going to lose? Or do you think it's like, we already have a lot of viewers, we're just going to do it?
I think it's a demographic thing because for me, it's the women demographic. Which we've already established in our other show, our other podcast, same name, Charity Stripe. Anywhere you get your podcast, also on Bleav.com, BLEAV. Go to Bleav.com. Get all these podcasts that we're talking about on this awesome show. It's a demographic thing. They're not going to want to lose their female audience because those are the mothers of the future players.
Right.
They want the mothers to let their kids play football.
The wives too.
The wives, yeah. So they're not going to, they're not going to mess with that. With this though, now they've handed out, Deshaun's been given a 6-game suspension, but the NFL and the NFLPA can appeal former Justice Robinson's decision of a 6-game. And it sounds like the NFL is going to appeal that, and it sounds like they're going to go for the gauntlet and go for at least a year.
My question is, if Robinson has been very outspoken about how brutal this situation is and how Deshaun, this is one of the most disgusting things she's ever seen.
Yeah.
Does she not know how many games are in an NFL season?
No, I think with her, I think what it is it was like non-contact or non-violent. There were no rape kits. There was no teared underwear. There's no bruising.
There was contact probably.
Yeah, but there was none of that she could point to in the evidence. Now, she did recommend that he only get massages by team doctors or by approved doctors or approved masseuses.
Under adult supervision or something.
Yeah, under supervision. I mean, at this point, she thinks he's a serial, which he is, a serial in this, condition. And so it's a very tricky situation. There's people taking either side. I do think, though, that these guys bring up a great point that the NFL, it's in the NFL's best interest with the issue aside for Deshaun Watson to play because he's excellent. It makes a rabid fan base that we thought was finally going to be back, but looks like they were in turmoil with Baker Mayfield. It brings them back. They've invested all this draft capital. They don't want the Cleveland Browns organization to have an egg on its face for the upteenth time since we've been alive. It's in the NFL's best interest for Deshaun Watson to play as a player, but with the issue going on right now, I don't see how they cannot appeal and go for at least a season, which I think they will.
Do we think that Jimmy G has not been traded yet, or he has not been released yet, because the Niners want to see how long Deshaun's suspension really is going to be.
It's the only team he can go to is the Browns. He's not going anywhere else.
But they have 5 quarterbacks on their roster at this point.
It's Josh Rosen.
Brissett.
Why are they making that Josh Rosen move then? Why are they?
Because they need quarterbacks on the roster.
I mean, to me, Brissett is a guy that started games and won games as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, but do you want him to be your starting quarterback all season long when you have a roster that is really good?
Yeah, a roster that could win now,
I
for sure.
I don't see Jimmy G going to the Browns.
I don't know where else he's going to go. All right, we have more to talk about, more Deshaun Watson. We're going to kick it to Sean Salisbury. He's got a great show. Enjoy this clip right here from him.
What would have happened if Deshaun would have been traded to Miami? And all this goes on, and you're like, if you're the Texans, what happens? And I said, well, here's what I assume happens is that it's the Miami. I think the words, it's not a first round pick, it's your first round pick.
Right.
So meaning if they would have lost that first round pick, that they lose it. But the question is, does it automatically still get rewarded to the Texans if Deshaun would have been Miami?
Yeah.
Like all that talk of him.
I'm guessing they would have just
Flores.
pushed it to like 2024.
That's what I said.
Their next first round pick.
Right. I would have said the next first round pick you get, you're giving back to me in the NFL. That
right.
We're not punishing the Texans or whoever that would have been that traded at the time. At that time, the Deshaun Watson to Miami talk was real. What comes to my mind, Segs, is first off, you and I both know in every sport, if you really wanted to catch everybody for tampering, it'd be rampant.
Oh, yes.
That's what in every sport and people say, well, they're talking to the agent. Of course they are. It's still tampering when you're under contract, but everybody does it in every sport. That's why at 12:01, somebody signs a $150 million contract. What do you think? They negotiated in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Stop it. All right. So with this, you know what I found interesting though, Segs, and you know, we've had Sean Payton on our show when you were with love him, and Brady had nothing to do with love. But do you find it interesting that in the Brady case, it was like a 3-year romance, right?
Yeah.
You think, look at the time frame. And obviously, Sean Payton, you're trying to get him before the Dallas Cowboys decide a year or two that we want him back, and he leaves broadcasting and goes and makes $10-12 million a year, right? And he's a hell of a coach. So my thing is, I didn't realize, is tampering just a one-way street?
Sean brings up a great point because now the Dolphins have lost the first-round pick due to tampering because their owner, Mr. Ross, was hosting yacht parties with Brady or Sean Payton offering $1 million.
Come on,
I mean, first of all, who cares? Clearly, first of all, did the tampering work? No. Sean Payton's an analyst and Tom Brady's in Tampa Bay. I'm over the tampering thing. Like, to lose a first-round pick is ridiculous. But he brings up the point, what would have happened had Deshaun gone to Miami? Would Houston been penalized? And obviously not.
No.
But also the tampering both ways. Like, why doesn't, like, if the Dolphins are tampering and someone's also is taking part in the tampering, it's a two-way street.
The players know that's not right.
100%. Where's their penalty?
The agents as well. Maybe the agents need to get sanctioned.
Sanction an agent, dude. The agents are lawless in sports.
I know.
They do whatever they want as they please. It's like people at a Costco, like, you know, market, just all the samples and dip. That's the agents. Those are the kind of people agents are. I think.
I'm a big proponent of taking some samples at Costco.
No, yeah.
Maybe I should be an agent.
You probably should be an agent. I have agent in me too.
When we used to live in Austin,
yeah,
there was a Pinkberry down the street. I don't even know if it was a Pinkberry. It was a frozen yogurt place. And
Ew, dude.
I would pop in there literally just to get samples, knowing that I was not going to buy any frozen.
That's not cool. That's a small store.
That's theft.
That's theft.
No, I mean, it's not theft. Come on, they're giving out free samples.
That's GTY.
It's a whole new system.
It's not theft.
It's a hole in the system.
There's like an intent when you go in there and you're sampling to then purchase the product, because you're sampling because you want to try the different flavors so that you can then pick the flavor.
Well, maybe it's for next
best
time.
suited for your palate.
Maybe it's like, okay, I want to get this in my head that, oh, this is a good flavor for the next time I actually want to go big.
When it's a time where I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. No, sure. I mean, that's definitely the intent you're going with. I do think, though, the Deshaun Watson situation is very tricky. The Dolphin situation is more black and white. Like, what is that owner doing? Is the owner now the majority? We have a couple more seconds here. Is the owner majority now Fergie in the Dolphins? Did I read that somewhere?
Everyone answers to Fergie now, yes.
That is so sick.
After that, Mark Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah. Quite the combo.
That is a crazy combo. You know the dances are going to be fire at the halftime. And you know like the artists that come through to perform are going to be awesome. Is it Hard Rock? Yeah, Hard Rock. Hard Rock,
Stadium.
Yeah.
We have a in case you want to
We have a Hard Rock
content.
Yeah.
We don't have a Hard Rock. But we do have great content from the Texans and the Dolphins, respectively. Bleav in Texans and the Perfectville podcast. That's our Miami Dolphins podcast. Go check those out wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yeah, and go check us out in just a hot second. We have more great content coming your way. We're the Charity Stripe. This is Best of Bleav on Stadium. Hit your free throws. We'll be right back.